Mics are hot.
A Maxwell class gave a large donation to benefit a local charity today.
And the spiritual leader of the Onondaga Nation headlines a conference bringing together Native Americans and President Obama.
And a local hospital shown to have higher in-house infections makes changes to protect their patients.
And the world's oldest woman passes away. Find out more about 116-year-old Bessie Cooper ahead on Citrus TV News, live at 8:30.
Welcome to Citrus TV News live at 8:30 for our final broadcast of the semester. I'm Chris Luther.
And I'm Ted Goldberg. Syracuse University announces plans to renovate Newhouse buildings over the winter break. That's our top story.
Syracuse University announced it will make some improvements to television studios. Kristen Eskow is here to tell us how the first and second floors in Newhouse, too, will be changed.
Technology at the television studios of the SI Newhouse School of Public Communications. The renovation process at Newhouse 2 is set to begin over winter break. The first step will be to dismantle equipment and clear out the current studios. Susan Nash, Director of Administration at the Newhouse School, says that the renovations will result in 5 new studios, including 2 small flex studios on the second floor. Nash says that these studios can be used for majors that are less reliant on video production.
We heard from our public relations department that they'd like the ability to be able to do virtual press conferences or media training where their students will practice how to answer questions for the media, things that they'll need to know how to do as public relations representatives for their companies in the future.
On the first floor, current Studio B will become the designated area for news production, while Studio A will be divided into 2 new studios. One for television, radio, and film students to construct sets for TV production, and the other with green screens and virtual technology capabilities.
You could completely do virtual television production in there. I mean, I can remember the architect saying once upon, one of our meetings that if you wanted to be able to make somebody look like they were standing on the moon, that's the studio you're going to be able to do that in.
While the renovations are underway, broadcast and digital journalism students will be using the newsroom on the 4th floor of Newhouse 2 for their newscasts. TRF students will mainly rely on on-location filming. The entire project is expected to be complete by the fall 2014 semester. Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Kristen Eskow. Demolition and construction will begin in the early spring of 2013 and will last just over a year until early summer 2014. That leaves much of the summer for the faculty to be trained on the new equipment, so students will be prepared once the semester starts.
Kristen, these renovations sound like pretty good news for any Newhouse students, but a lot of people might be wondering, why now for the renovations?
Well, the Newhouse administration has known for years that they need to upgrade their equipment. The technology is a little out of date, and a lot of journalism schools have been upgrading to high definition and more state-of-the-art equipment. So they know that they need to make these changes as soon as possible, and they finally reached the amount of funding to start the project.
It sounds like they could really use the renovations, but we all know how construction can go a little behind schedule sometimes. So how will the renovations affect Newhouse curriculum come next semester?
Well, next semester, Newhouse students will be on the 4th floor of Newhouse 2 in the newsroom for the BDJ newscasts, and the TRF students will mostly be doing some on-location filming.
Very interesting. Thank you very much, Kristen. Today, students in the Maxwell School's Philanthropy and U class held a reception to announce a local nonprofit that will be awarded $5,000 in grant money raised by the class. Last year, Vera House won the award using the money to visit local schools and talk to them about bullying and sexual abuse. This year, the class determined that education was a priority, with an emphasis on groups helping those below the poverty line. The students have been working all semester to learn about the inner workings of nonprofit organizations and solicit real proposals.
Facebook could start to give people more privacy, but it's leaving that decision up to its users. The social network has started to poll its users about what they think of Facebook's current policies. Right now, Facebook shares users' information with other websites. If someone likes basketball on Facebook, he or she will likely see basketball-related advertisements on their profile. If at least 30% of users don't vote, Facebook's current policies won't change.
Social Security numbers are one of an American's most private identity forms. Starting on December 12th, a new New York law will help you keep that information more private. The new law prevents businesses from asking for consumers' Social Security numbers except in special situations. Also, businesses are no longer allowed to refuse service when someone does not disclose their Social Security number. The law's goal is to protect privacy and prevent identity theft.
As the semester winds down, Syracuse students are starting to study for finals. With all that time concentrated on remembering what they learned over the semester, it might be difficult to carve out some time for a meal. But as Leslie King tells us, SU is making it easier for students to grab food before exams start.
As the semester begins to wind down, students are focusing on one thing and one thing only: final exams. Stress levels may be at their high, but Food Services is here to help. Food Services will continue their long-run tradition of extending dining hall hours until midnight through the end of final exams next week. All 5 dining halls on campus will have these extended hours during exam week.
It gives them an opportunity to get out of their rooms or wherever they're studying to come get some food, because we know everyone stays up pretty late. So it's part of their meal plan. You come in, we have a different option every night, and just a quick study break. That's exactly what it's called that.
The entire dining hall will not be open. Instead, a different specialty will be served each night. One night there will be pizza, the next all finger foods, but students should not expect the buffet-style dinner they're used to. These midnight snacks will be helpful for students who are up late studying or who need to study with a group. However, there is a catch.
If you're on the 10 meal plan or larger, it's included. So it doesn't really matter how many meals you have left over, but if you're on one of the lesser plans, yes, it would cost you a meal. So that's one of the advantages of having the bigger meal plans.
For the most part, students are excited about the extended hours.
I think that's great. Definitely a change of scenery to go from like where library when they're studying, and food always helps.
Because students will most likely be up late studying, Food Services expects many students to take advantage of this opportunity.
It's really great because the hours are really restricting sometimes, so sometimes I'd be studying and I'd miss dinner, so it'd be a lot easier and a lot more convenient.
Not only is Food Services making accommodations for students, residence halls will require 24/7 quiet hours beginning this Friday through the end of exams, as well as offering stress relief programs. This is all in an attempt to help students do well on their exams.
A coalition is attempting to make casino gambling illegal. Amanda Hari will join us to tell us more.
As Washington tries to figure out how to handle the fiscal cliff, President Obama says that taxes have to go up for the wealthiest Americans.
And an Oklahoma Supreme Court strikes down an abortion law challenged by a New York State group. Up next.
Well, Syracuse, I hope you didn't get too comfortable with that spring weather yesterday, because we are back to December. I'm Leandra Rosa. Stick around for your full weather forecast, and I'll tell you how much snow we should expect over the course of today.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
The spiritual leader of the Onondaga Nation opened the annual White House Tribal Nations Conference today in Washington. The conference brings together the top leaders from the 566 federally recognized tribes. The day-long event includes personal meetings with President Obama and his staff. The Onondaga Nation said they did not have any specific issues to raise at the conference. The Coalition Against Gambling in New York will be holding a conference tomorrow to oppose the constitutional amendment legalizing gambling. Amanda Hari joins us now on why the group opposes all forms of casino gambling. Amanda?
The Coalition Against Gambling in New York, or CAGNY, opposes all forms of predatory gambling, including casino gambling, whether operated by Native Americans, commercial gambling interests, or government. The coalition bases its opposition on research demonstrating the harmful impact of gambling on state economics and the effects on families and individuals. According to CAGNY, the introduction of commercial casino gambling in New York could destroy the lives of tens of thousands of individuals and families.
Amanda, casino gambling is legal in this country in 20 states. What does CAGNY have to do to make sure that New York is not the 21st?
Well, they are working with legislators to show them the human and economic tolls that gambling takes on the state. So they are introducing legislators to people who have had their lives negatively affected by gambling in New York State to help them not pass the amendment.
Now, Amanda, I know this affects a lot of people socially, but you talked about the economic benefits or, things that could hurt the local economic here in central New York. So what are the type of things that this group says would hurt central New York if gambling was legalized?
Well, it would hurt central New York because people would be spending their money at the casinos or the reservation casinos. So the money would be going to casinos or the reservations, not going back into local New York State economy.
On Indian reservations, gambling is legal only on forms of casino, but that's only for the Indian reservations since they have a different set of laws than just regular United States land. Have you heard any reaction from some of the local reservations and what they would think about this amendment?
Well, they don't seem too happy about it right now, but since it hasn't passed yet, there's no reason to really worry about it until something actually happens.
Thank you very much, Amanda. A local hospital seems to be having some infection issues. A new report from the New York State Department of Health reveals that Upstate University Hospital infection rates in its pediatric unit were significantly higher than normal last year. 6 bloodstream infections occurred in the unit in 2011. However, Upstate staff report that after changing the way they handle catheters, the pediatric unit has been infection-free.
Today, President Obama insisted that the wealthiest Americans should be paying more in taxes. The president said the government needs more money to reduce the $16 trillion debt, and that Washington needs to get rid of the Bush-era tax cuts, which include lower rates for Americans making more than $250,000 a year. But Speaker of the House John Boehner says Obama's plan will slow economic growth and lead to fewer jobs.
The Oklahoma State Supreme Court ruled yesterday that laws requiring women seeking abortions to have an ultrasound image in front of them while they hear a description of the fetus is unconstitutional. The law was challenged by the New York State Center for Reproductive Rights. The center also objected to another law that bans off-label use of certain abortion-inducing drugs. That law was struck down as unconstitutional as well. After a 70-degree day yesterday, the snow has returned with a fury. Weather expert Leanne DeRosa is here to tell us what to expect for the rest of the week of weather. Leanne?
Thanks, Chris. Well, this weather sure is extremely inconsistent. There isn't even a pattern that we can follow anymore. Yesterday, we obviously had temperatures in the 60s and 70s, and today, back to snow. It's back to looking like December. You can see that tonight we will have temperatures dropping again, continuing into the lower 20s with more snow flurries on the way, scattering throughout the evening. Moving on to tomorrow, we're going to go back to some sun. It'll be mostly sunny throughout the day. Temperatures going up just a little bit more into the upper 30s, maybe peaking into the 40s, depending on how sunny it is, but that cloud chance sure does bring the temperature down a little bit. Moving on, you can see the wind chills. We have temperatures feeling like they're in the 20s because of the wind chill. Tonight it's about 13 miles per hour, not too severe, but you do want to bundle up and remember that those winds will make the temperature feel a lot colder than it actually is. Moving on to our map of precipitation forecast, you can see that we mostly have rain over in the East Coast. That's because it might not be cold enough over the next few days for snow to be sticking, any precipitation to be sticking. We will see rain moving on into the rest of the week. So we are only expecting to see up to maybe half an inch of rain, nothing too serious. And moving on to our 5-day forecast, you can see that temperatures are going to fluctuate throughout the 40s, even reaching into the 50s by the weekend into next week. We'll have rain most of the weekend. They should be scattered showers though, so nothing too serious to worry about.
Leanne, yesterday I was wearing a t-shirt and I was feeling pretty comfortable. Today I was bundling up and I was still shivering. A lot of people in Syracuse are wondering why? Why is this weather so inconsistent?
There really is no pattern to be followed. That we have temperatures going all over the place, and really there's no way to understand what the rest of our winter will look like. You have to take it by day basis. I will see temperatures going into the 20s and colder with more snow eventually as we continue on into the month.
Well, it looks like Syracuse is making your job pretty hard. Thank you for joining us, Leanne. Coming up on CitrusTV News, the ropes course in Destiny, USA received nationwide attention this week.
And the oldest woman in the world passed away today. Find out more about Bessie Cooper right after the break.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
A blind 26-year-old woman from Baldwinsville climbed through the world's tallest indoor ropes course. Erin Scala made her way past tight ropes, bridges, and balance beams and conquered Wonderworks in Destiny, USA. Because of how she perceives light and darkness, Scala actually blindfolded herself to help her see the course better. Afterwards, she said she wanted to climb the course to prove that anyone could do it.
Students chose SU alum Aaron Sorkin as commencement speaker last year. Now students can begin submitting their suggestions for the 2013 commencement speaker. The list of names will be compiled in alphabetical order and reviewed by an all-student committee. The proposed list will then be submitted to the chancellor, who will make a final decision. All SU students are allowed to vote. You can submit your suggestions online at suspeaker.syr.edu. And the world's oldest person in the world died yesterday at the age of 116. Bessie Cooper died peacefully in her nursing home in Monroe, Georgia. She was having trouble breathing in the early afternoon and was put on a respirator, but passed away around 2 p.m. The title has now been given to another woman only 1 year younger, named Deanna Manfredini, who resides in Iowa.
Flu season has started early this year, and the Center for Disease Control is warning people to be ready. The CDC called the start of this flu season the earliest in a decade. The surge in flu cases in Syracuse is the largest since the swine flu hit the Salt City 3 years ago. The Onondaga County Health Department has reported that the number of flu victims this week is twice as high as last week.
The arrests of junior Syracuse football players Marquise Sproul and Steve Renee over the weekend sent shockwaves around the campus. Fans can now breathe easy as it has been determined that both players will be able to play at the Pinstripe Bowl later this month. Head coach Doug Marrone says he is disappointed by the two players' behavior and they have to earn their right to play. Sproul and Renee were arrested early Sunday morning on misdemeanor charges for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. The third annual Big East Pinstripe Bowl takes place on December 29th at Yankee Stadium.
Chris Wilner here, and coming up in sports, a couple of SU football stars are honored down in New York City, and the men's basketball team continues a hot start by adding Coach Boeheim's 896 career win. Also, is there hope for the NHL? All that and more when CitrusTV Live News at 8:30 returns.
Hey, my name's Katie and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie if you want me to like, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Now, some action from the courts. Billie Jean King renewing her rivalry with Arthritis. First set, furious volley, and right to the net for a winner. Beautiful forehand there. Arthritis, stunned. And here, match point. Billie Jean with the ace, taking it in straight sets. Afterwards, a jubilant Billie Jean King.
Tennis is a weapon for me with arthritis. There's nothing like it for me to hit a ball, run to the ball, anytime, any court. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your weapon against arthritis? Find out at fightarthritispain.org.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
SU quarterback Ryan Nassib has not only had his name on nearly every list of Syracuse passing and total offense, but he recently added his name on a different roster. He's a National Football Foundation Scholar Athlete. The award was given to 15 of the nation's top academic collegiate football players of different levels and is the first time for an SU player since Mark Banowitz in 1999. Nassib is one of 6 NFF Scholar Athletes who is enrolled in a postgraduate program after graduating with a dual major in finance and managerial accounting in May of 2012. Ryan Nassib isn't the only SU football player being recognized tonight in the Big Apple. Orange football great Art Monk will be officially inducted into the National Football Foundation College Hall of Fame. A versatile playmaker who entered college as a running back, Monk posted 31 kickoff returns for almost 700 yards and 430 yards in punt returns. He is 6th all-time in Syracuse history with over 380 yards, all-purpose yards. The ceremony is being held tonight at the glamorous Waldorf Astoria Hotel in downtown New York City, and it begins tonight at 8. The Syracuse men's basketball team was back Monday night to continue their non-conference schedule, this time against Eastern Michigan University. Former SU assistant coach Rob Murphy led his Eagles into the Dome alongside former SU big man Deshaunte Riley, who transferred from Syracuse in 2011. The Eagles' 2-3 zone left Syracuse tentative from the floor early, but the second half it was all orange as the Qs would open up a 25-point lead and win big 84-48. The SU freshman had a big day contributing 36 points, including Dajuan Coleman's career high of 14. The team is back in the Dome Thursday night for an 8 p.m. tip against Long Beach State. And after 7 straight road games, the Syracuse women's basketball team returned home last night determined to bounce back after a tough loss against Temple. I'd say they did more than just that. With the appointment of basketball operations director Cedric Solis to assistant coach, the Orange demolished the Wagner Seahawks 66-28. Kayla Alexander scored a career-high 34 points in her 4th double-double of the season, while Carmen Tyson-Thomas joined the 1,000-point club. The Lady Orange are back Saturday as they take on Loyola in the Dome. 3 SU women's ice hockey team members were recognized by the CHA this week. Junior goaltender Janessica Drinkwater was named to the CHA Goaltender of the Week, while defenseman Jacqueline Greco and forward Nicole Ferreira were named to the weekly honor roll. Drinkwater notched 21 saves this weekend against Robert Melrose, while the Ferreira scored the winning power play goal and Greco contributed 2 goals in Sunday's win. The Orange are back this Saturday against Clarkson at Kennedy Ice Pavilion. Well, hockey fans, we might be getting closer to a deal to end the lockout, and the key word is might. Sources say that the NHL and the NHL Players Association exchanged proposals Wednesday in a move that, after a day of marathon sessions, could potentially end the lockout. The sides are trying to avoid another lost season, as the league became the first pro sports league in North America to completely cancel a year of play because of a labor dispute back in 2005.
Chris, Syracuse middle linebacker Marquise Sproul spent last Saturday night in jail, but SU fans might have dodged a bullet when head coach Doug Marrone said that he could still play in the Pinstripe Bowl. How huge is that for the Orange?
Teddy, it is a huge, big break for SU football fans. Sproul is a big guy. I mean, this guy's contributed so much this season. The leadership he has, 3rd, 4th down pass rush, this guy was amazing. So taking away the tangible of having to bring in a guy who's never started in such a big atmosphere really puts Syracuse at ease, especially the defense, especially with a very talented West Virginia offense.
Thank you very much, Chris. And we'll be right back after this.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think, but so is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Leanne, am I going to be blasted by snow tomorrow morning when I wake up?
No, thankfully not. We're going to see sunny skies again, and temperatures will go up into the mid-30s throughout the day.
Well,
Thank goodness. Thank you very much. There are many different places people call home, Teddy.
And a 49-year-old from Maine lives in a pretty unusual home. Michael Smith has lived in Boston Harbor since the summer. I'll say that again. He lives in Boston Harbor.
He carries all his possessions on a 40-year-old, 14-foot-long canoe that he patches with duct tape when he needs to repair it. And he camps on the shores at night.
But don't call him homeless. Smith refers to himself as just another citizen, and he says he doesn't like it when people say he's homeless.
I guess I completely understand. That canoe is his home. And thank you very much for watching us. Thank you for joining us for our final broadcast of the year here on Wednesday News. Have a great holiday, everyone. I'm Chris Luther.
And I'm Ted Goldberg. Make sure to check us out online at CitrusTV.net. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays.
Have a great night.